Howdy do, movie fans and also Cadillac lovers. Today we're going to combine both. There's a movie called Greenbook. I've actually seen it twice on television. It's a good movie. Two guys from two totally different backgrounds and end up being friends in the end. A nice story. Okay, so MK. Let's see. MK Miniatures. They actually have a website I've never been to. Maybe you want to check it out. So this is the car from this movie. So it's a 1962 Cadillac Deville. It would be the second generation Deville, which was made between 1961 to 64, and it was designed by Bill Mitchell. They made 3 of these cars for this movie. These things were powered by 6.4 liter V8s and making around 325 horsepower. Rear wheel drive, being a car from this era. I don't see any licensing. Nope, sorry. And it's nice, it's just a standard base. I don't have to pay a bunch of extra money. Oh, but there is extra money in here. I would say this model wasn't super expensive. Being diecast, it's not a resin or anything like that. But it's definitely a premium diecast. It might have some parts you might find on resin models. Yeah, so the best way to get this stuff off, I find, is just to use tape to do that. With more time, I would do a better job. So it does have this blister to keep it from rattling around, but why? I don't know. I guess they're really worried about shipping damage. If something falls off a motorcycle or something, for instance, it gets thrown around. But I mean, it does have 2 screws. I'm not sure if I've ever seen a model show up damaged if it has 2 screws. I've had one where it had 1 screw and it literally sheared the model off, and that was definitely damaged, but 2 is pretty secure. But these guys are really taking care of you. They literally have wax paper to keep this plastic in the foam to keep it from scratching the roof. So very, very well thought out, I guess. So if you order this online, I think you can be confident that it'll actually show up without damage to the model itself. Maybe the box might crack, but anyhow, that standard molded base has now this, unfortunately, it's probably fake leather. The problem with fake leather is eventually it cracks and falls off the fabric. But for today, it looks quite nice. The stitching of it is very nicely done. And then you have your standard photo etch piece here with the etched away lettering of the brand, the car. And then it's around 300 of these. What? No, it's 600. What? There's a devilish amount of this in this color out there. This number 293 of a devil. Okay. Well, it's a die cast. It's quite heavy. I'm not going to take it off the stand. I don't care about rolling models. You can buy your own and roll them around all you want, but I'm not going to risk breaking this thing. Looking at this front wheel, it's nicely molded. This like turbine looking wheel. Let me see if I can get in closer. So the Cadillac badge of that era, it's in the center cap, the chromed hubcap center, the rim. I guess that whole wheel is probably plastic. I cannot, oh, there it is. It's just silver. For a moment, I thought it was blue, but it's literally catching the blue of the die cast. But it is just a silver wheel, but the reflection makes it look blue. Interesting. So the white wall is pretty concentric. It looks pretty nice. Big high aspect ratio tires. And looking at the sidewall, it's not super slab sided. I guess it looks okay. I'm looking at that photograph from the movies. In fact, I gotta put this up against the photos before I forget. Look at the sidewall, white wall. It's pretty close to the wheel itself. So they looked at that. They got that. The headlights there. Now the license plate doesn't match at all, though. I'm not sure the deal behind that. The 2 mirrors are round. Okay. Look at the side view. Well, this is interesting because the center cap of this is color matched to the car. It looks like that on that photo too. So that's weird that they wouldn't add that color to the model. It seems quite obvious to me. Alright, the rear, yeah, it's a totally different license plate, right? This is I assume a New York plate, where it's black on yellow. This is more like yellow and black. Like I think California had that. Interesting, interesting. Still, probably the best version of this movie car, because it's probably the only version of this movie car. All right, let's see about. I'm gonna zoom in again, and the metallic blue is very nice. It's not hot rod giant flakes. Pretty fine flake blue here. Pretty tight panel gaps actually. Very nice. The door handle is sticking out. Same with the little lock. It's painted silver, of course. There's a very shiny chrome on this raised window molding of the plastic window there. Separate chromed plastic mirrors look good. And then, yeah, there's an additional chrome. I don't know if this is part... Oh, well, I don't know. I don't know if this... I don't know if this windscreen and this are the same piece. It looks like it is. But then maybe the roof is a separate piece because the separation of color is so good. So I think all the windows are the same piece of plastic, and then they put the chrome paint on it. And then this is painted separately and glued to it. I like to know how things are built, or guess how the things are built. Some sort of detail that actually swoops up into this. I don't know if that's on the real car or not. I almost feel like it might be a casting issue. But leave a comment. We'll see if it's on the other side. Being chromed plastic, it's, I guess, pretty realistic, and it is a mirror. It's reflecting the pic. Okay, we have the little cover for the rear wheel. Looks good. Yeah, but sadly, it's weird how they chose to do this. If they... I mean, this is supposed to be silver, and this is supposed to be blue, but it's catching this reflection of the blue, and it's basically the opposite of what the movie car is, the color combos. So maybe they could have painted the wheels a matte silver, and then just painted blue in here. Well, anyhow. Okay, so pretty tight fins, nice sharp fins and the like. A little bit of a casting issue there. Going to the front, we got the whole front end is a separate piece of plastic, chromed out. This is cool. We have these striations for these, I don't know if these are the turn signals or fog lights. I guess they're clear plastic, but they molded the Fresneling. I can't tell if I can feel those. They look like they're on the outside, but I don't think they are. You know what? I think this is possibly a photo etched piece of metal, and there's a clear drop of resin on top of it. So it looks 3D, but it feels smooth. I think that's what's going on. So it's like a resin model mentality. Obviously clear headlights, but no real indication that there's a light bulb back there. I feel like they could have either molded these plastic things to be conical on the backside, or would we have pegs going into holes, or something, but they're just flat. Cadillac is there. It's maybe it's a shiny decal. It's very well done, very nice, very tight grill recesses here. It's so shiny, I can't tell if there's black in those recesses. See, it looks like they're black there, but then just chrome here. I think they're just chrome. You could just put some black paint wash if you want to add those details easily. I see. So yeah, it just says 62 Cadillac instead of the real license plate. How do you guys feel about that? If you're going to make an unlicensed thing, wouldn't you want to just make it look as realistic as possible? Just have the license plate number. It's not like this. The city of or the state of New York is going to come after you for copying an old license plate, right? So, well, anyways, at least there's something there, and it tells you what the car is, so that's good. But most people probably won't take this off the base, so, I mean, maybe they should just wrote 1962 here. Anyhow, what else? Is there black in here? Nope, that's just chrome, so it's just all chromed. No black paint wash. Let's just check if this side has any problems. Looks good, and then again, it looks like it's swooping up a little bit. I think that's part of the mold process, how the mold splits or something. But in general, I'd say this side looks good. Yeah, maybe a tiny contaminant there. It's no big deal. Alright, so some red here, and there's some silver border as well. So that's finally done, the printing of that. Separate chromed out plastic rear end. And then we have tiny red dots here for the centers, but I don't know if the real car, these are white lenses back here, or if they're supposed to be red lenses. If they're supposed to be red lenses, I would say they should have had red paint in there. I just can't tell in that photo, but that rear photo, it does look like these are somewhat red. So that could have been maybe they should have just added red paint anyways. So yeah, that fin from the diecast continues to the tip and the plastic here. And then it's literally reflecting, or trying to reflect this base here. But it's obviously not the smoothest surface because the reflection isn't super smooth. But it still looks pretty good to the naked eye, I would say. And then yeah, it's nice again to have a license plate. And then this rear badge looks very nice. Probably some sort of decal or something. There's no glue residue whatsoever. Maybe it's a sticker. Yeah, I don't know, but it's so well done. There's just no extra globbiness that I very often see in these little shiny badges. Alright, so the blue paint again looking very nice. It's interesting, yeah. I would assume this would be silver, but I'm looking at the rear photo. This is blue on the rear photo. Alright. Yeah, very nice here. And then some chrome around the rear window. So now we have a sky blue interior. And, well, I guess with certain, I don't even need a flashlight. That's why I like light interiors. So the door panel, yeah, you got some big silver thing. I don't know what that would be for. Because the armrest is down there, obviously, with some silver stuff. Maybe the lock. I think this has wind down windows. That doesn't make sense. It's a Cadillac, right? Wouldn't it have power windows? Okay, and then the rear, yeah, it's got some silver back there. And then some cushion details in the bench seat in the rear. Oh, the back of the seats have some silver. Maybe, I wonder if they have fold down tables or something. Yeah, some ribbing in the back there at bottom. So the steering wheel, it's actually two-tone. Interesting. And I think there's like a Cadillac badge in the middle of that thing. It looks like it has some color. And then look at the dashboard with that crazy horizontal needle speedometer cars had back then. I don't think the real car had a speedometer that big, but it's kind of funny because you can actually read the numbers, right? It goes up to 120, and then there's a central clock thing, and then some sort of texture there on the glove box area. So there is a rear view mirror, but it's just a bent piece of sheet metal, so it's not very realistic. But it's better than no mirror. Some vent details there in the top, and then some sort of central thing sticking up. I don't know what that would be. Leave a comment if you know. Maybe some sort of optional sensor that a Cadillac would have had in its day. Here's a photo I pulled up of the interior because I thought that speedometer was hilarious. This is from a 62, so it does have this type of horizontal thing. It's just not this wide, right? So they literally span the decal of that thing this wide, and then that's the central vent or clock. And it actually is a clock. I thought it was a vent. And then yeah, this two-tone or kind of like a split color steering wheel. I saw another one with different colors on the steering wheel. And then that like mesh detail is on that passenger side. So they did a decent job, just obviously not totally correct. Alright, looking at some other things here. Green light here, we have a 73 Coupe Deville. Yeah, alright. And then we have a, 73 Sedan Deville. Was this a 73? Maybe. No, it is a 73. So Coupe versus Sedan. Whereas the MK is, I guess, a sedan, right? It has 4 doors. Then we have some Auto Worlds, but Their printing is so small, I have no idea what this car is. What are you thinking printing? Why would you even waste your ink printing something that small? Right? It's like, forget these details. Just have a flat bottom and print big in big print. Your brand, the scale, where it's made, and what the car is. That's what I think. No one does this, right? Does anyone display their models like that? I just don't think bottom details should take precedence over telling you what the car is. Here's another Auto World, which again I have no clue what it is because the font is so small. Alright, well, anyhow, those are 5 big boats made by Cadillac. The MK is simply better. There's simply no way around it because Auto World has painted on headlights. I don't understand American diecast brands with their painted headlights. It's very unrealistic. So, plastic headlights simulates glass, right? Or now modern cars have plastic headlight covers, so it's just weird. I just don't understand Auto World and very often Greenlight. Some Greenlights do have plastic lenses, so I actually prefer Greenlight more. Anyhow, MK is the subject at hand, and I think it's a pretty good job. It looks like the movie car minus the actual color in the wheel hubcaps. That's the only glaring deficiency. It is questionable, whatever that thing is in the middle of the dashboard, but I figure it's there for a reason. Oh, I didn't even talk about the wiper blades, but they're photo etch pieces, but they're not bent perpendicular to the windscreen. And actually there's a really nice silver grill in front of the windshield there. So that's pretty good. Okay, well, that's it for today. I appreciate you guys watching, and we'll see you in the next premium diecast review.